Me and Gordy living together. 'Cause we wrestle and fight each other all the time, you know.
Oh,
It's like,
okay.
you know, back in the day, as two young guys would wrestling. Me and Doc did that all the time, too. And back in the day, that we'd have Deborah with us. She'd stop and go get the food. Me and Doc would get out of the car and run down the road because we're both ex-football players. We used to run, you know, and we're both competitive. We're like, of course, he was younger.
Well, and that's why. Now, I do wonder, Jim. I know that you were like a state champion in New York as a heavyweight. How did you do against Doc, who's an NCAA
Well,
champ?
we never shot. We definitely would roll around with each other, but it never got where he respected my deal where he wouldn't make a move on me, and I didn't make a move on him.
Ah, okay.
But we would roll around, but never actually took it to the mat and win. Plus, there was never a mat. You know, the
Oh,
ring is
okay.
much different than a wrestling mat.
Right. Yeah, being on canvas as opposed to being on like a soft mat. I'm sure that could
It's a
probably.
rubber, yeah, it's like a firm, hard rubber. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you do a lot on the ground. Yeah, but that wasn't a good wrestler. Yeah, I watched the states when I won the states. I'm like, because the guy I beat in the finals, he went on to win the Pan Am games. He was a good wrestler. I
Wow.
mean, he could takedown after takedown, but I was just stronger than he was. I got him. I got a hold of him, and he couldn't make the escape. And I won by 1 point. But a win's a win.
Do you think if
But
you would have pursued it, you could have done something like the Pan
oh, I
Am
was
Games? Or...
recruited. Yeah, Chris Taylor from Iowa State. They used to call him Wart. He was a big Olympic super heavyweight wrestler. I went
Yeah.
to Iowa State. I was highly recruited by but many different universities. I made back then they didn't have a limit on recruiting trips, so I made 7 different trips to 7 different colleges.
Wow.
And Iowa State was one, and that was on a wrestling scholarship. But I knew I just assumed I'd play in the NFL for 10 years, you know.
Oh, I
So
got
that's why when Fritz said, well, you know, you might be a wrestler. I'm like, well, thank you very much.
you.
But
I'll be in the NFL.
I'll be. And then I was with the Falcons. I had 2 knee surgeries. I went up to Canada playing for the Toronto Argonauts. You know, I could have gone up to Saskatchewan. I'm like, I think, I think I might give that Fritz guy a call. Yeah, I was an offensive guard, you know, dime a dozen. So I gave Fritz a call and said, come on down to the Sportatorium. And wow,